Hello, welcome to our prayer channel. Here, you will find a space dedicated to connecting with the divine through detailed and reflective prayers. To receive videos that nourish your soul, subscribe right now and activate notifications so you don't miss any special prayer we have prepared with great care for you. May the grace and peace of God be with you. So, let's go. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Sources and related content. With great joy, let's detail each verse of Psalm 23, transforming it into a prayer and exploring its profound meaning. Psalm 23, detailed in prayer with explanations. Verse 1, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Beloved Lord, with all my heart I acknowledge you as my shepherd. You are the one who guides me, protects me, and cares for me with unconditional love. In this certainty, I rest, knowing that in your care, no need of mine will go unmet. I trust fully in your provision. This initial verse establishes the fundamental relationship between the believer and God, comparing it to that of a shepherd and his sheep. The declaration, "The Lord is my shepherd," expresses a personal relationship of care, leadership, and protection. The subsequent promise, "I shall not want," is based on the faithfulness and ability of the Good Shepherd to supply all the needs of his sheep, whether physical, emotional, spiritual, or material. The prayer appropriates this intimate relationship and the promise of complete provision. Verse 2. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. Kind Shepherd, I thank you because you lead me to places of rest and abundance, to green pastures where I find nourishment and refreshment. With your gentle hand, you guide me beside still waters, where my soul finds peace, quiet, and restoration. May I always follow your leadership to places of true rest. This verse describes the tender and providential care of the shepherd. He makes me lie down in green pastures, evokes the image of a place of rest and abundant nourishment. He leads me beside still waters, symbolizes the peace, serenity, and restoration that God's presence provides to the soul. The prayer expresses gratitude for the gentle leadership and the provision of rest and peace that the Lord offers. Verse 3. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. O Lord, my shepherd, when my soul is tired, downcast, or thirsty, you revive and restore it with your presence and your spirit. I ask that you lead me in paths of righteousness, in straight and holy ways, not for my own merit, but for the sake of your holy name, for the honor and glory of your character. This verse speaks of the spiritual restoration and moral direction that God offers. He restores my soul describes the revival and inner strengthening that come from God. He leads me in paths of righteousness, indicates divine leadership in the ways of uprightness and obedience. The motivation for this guidance is not the believer's merit, but rather God's name's sake, his reputation, and his holy character. The prayer seeks this restoration of the soul and divine direction in the paths of righteousness. Verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Beloved Father, even when I have to go through the darkest and most difficult moments of life, the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for your constant presence is my greatest security. Your rod, which drives away dangers, and your staff, which sustains and guides me, bring me comfort and peace in the midst of tribulation. This verse addresses the reality of moments of suffering and danger in life. Valley of the shadow of death symbolizes the darkest and most threatening situations. The promise, I will fear no evil, is based on God's constant presence. For you are with me. The shepherd's rod was used to protect the sheep from predators, while the staff served as support and guidance. Both represent God's comforting protection and leadership in the midst of difficulties. The prayer clings to this promise of divine presence and comfort in times of crisis. Verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Lord, even before those who oppose me, you honor and bless me abundantly. You prepare a table before me, a banquet of blessings in the midst of hostility. You anoint my head with oil, a sign of honor, joy, and consecration. My cup overflows with blessings that exceed my capacity to contain. May your grace always be evident in my life, even in the face of adversity. This verse describes the blessing and honor that God bestows upon the believer, even in the presence of their enemies. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies, symbolizes abundant provision and victory over opposition. You anoint my head with oil was an act of honor, joy, and consecration. My cup overflows represents an abundance of blessings that surpasses expectations. The prayer seeks this demonstration of God's grace and blessing, even in challenging situations. Verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Faithful shepherd, I am certain that your goodness and your mercy will accompany me every day of my existence, from now and forevermore. And with deep gratitude, I long to dwell in your house, in your presence, for all eternity, enjoying the fullness of your glory and your love. This verse expresses absolute confidence in the constancy of God's love and grace. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, affirms the continuous presence of divine favor and compassion. And I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever can refer both to constant communion with God in the present life and to the promise of eternal life in His presence. The prayer declares this certainty of divine goodness and mercy and the desire for eternal communion with the Lord. I hope this detailed, verse-by-verse prayer, along with the in-depth explanations, enriches your understanding and experience of Psalm 23, one of the most beloved and comforting psalms in the Bible. Here, in this space, we will together delve into powerful words that have been a shield for countless hearts throughout the centuries. We will explore a psalm that is a true beacon of faith and a promise of divine protection in every verse. So you don't miss this transformative journey and receive more messages that nourish your soul, I invite you right now to subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you join a community that seeks strength and hope in faith. And if you believe this message can touch the heart of someone who needs comfort and security today, I kindly ask you to share this video. Be a beacon of hope in someone else's life. Together, we can spread this message of faith and protection.